everybody. Thanks for having me. I'm Alejandro, CEO and founder of Paloma and Springboard Collaborative. My life's purpose is helping marginalized families put their kids on the path to success. For me, it's personal. When I was 7, my family immigrated to the US seeking better educational opportunities. Those are my parents on the left, and that is me sitting on my mom's lap. In Carrollton, Georgia, my parents pretty quickly realized that schools serving poor families like ours don't often enough live up to America's promise. If it weren't for my parents, my sister and I might have accepted the limitations others tried to impose on us. Our parents were the only adults in our lives who saw our fullest potential and helped us realize that potential by pursuing goal after goal. Because of them, we overcame the odds. My sister went to Columbia, I went to Harvard, and we've both dedicated our lives to helping other parents do for their kids what our parents did for us. Unfortunately, the school system never really saw the value my parents brought to the table, and my teachers didn't know how to engage with them. Years later, I became a first grade teacher in North Philly. Those are my students over there on your right. I felt frustrated in the classroom that my school and our system still hadn't figured out how to help teachers and parents work as a team to support learning. Parents are the greatest and most underutilized resource in education. As a district leader, your job has never been harder. You gotta ramp up instructional time, but teachers are tired and budgets are shrinking. It can feel like an impossible puzzle. Luckily, districts have the missing piece: parents. Research shows parents are the biggest determinants of students' academic success. And studies find marginalized parents can be as effective as teachers in tutoring students. Unless and until we help families support learning at home, inequities will persist. Parents are their children's first and best teachers, but we haven't provided them with the basic things we'd give any teacher: curriculum and coaching. Paloma's mobile app helps K-2 parents build the habit of tutoring their kids for 15 minutes a day. Rigorous, curriculum-aligned, and joyful instruction daily at home. Doesn't sound like much, but over the course of a school year, Paloma unlocks up to 1,000 extra hours of one-on-one instruction in every classroom. By the time students enter middle school, parents using Paloma will have given their kids an entire extra year of instruction. Here's how it works. Every day, Paloma texts families their 15-minute tutoring session. No password, no login, no download, and families receive the guidance in their home language. I only speak to my daughters in Spanish, so all of Paloma's guidance to me is in Spanish, even though I'm teaching them letter sounds in English. Every session has the same 3 building blocks: I do, we do, you do. First, parents watch a 45-second video explaining what their child is learning in school and how they can reinforce those foundational skills at home. Parents' tutoring sessions are mapped to district's Tier 1 core curricula to ensure coherence. If a kid's learning the long O vowel sound in class, that's precisely what their family is practicing with them at home. Then, we do. Parents practice the skill with their child. When do you and don't you hear the long O vowel sound? My daughter Alma, her preference is to do a silly dance whenever she hears the sound of the week, but every family makes Paloma their own. Finally, students apply what they learned by reading a decodable book with their parents' coaching and support. We provide coaching tips for parents to know: what kinds of questions should I be asking? What do I do if my kid gets stuck? How do I make this a rich instructional experience together? When families finish their tutoring session on Monday, Paloma asks them, what do you want this week's personalized story to be about? They can choose a fan favorite like dinosaurs or unicorns, or let their imagination run free. This week, my daughter Alma wanted a story about going to her school carnival. Last week, she wanted a story about a pigeon in a tuxedo. Their imagination is the limit. On Wednesdays, families receive the special stories they wished for, and they have to complete their 3rd tutoring session of the week in order to unlock the personalized story. It drives a huge amount of consistency. Your kid will not let you forget. So if you told us on Monday that your daughter Matilde wants to be a princess in a castle this week, your wish is our command. The decodable books are personalized to children's learning needs and their interests. We also visually render kids as protagonists in their own stories. they literally see themselves in their books. Families typically focus on literacy for the first half of the week, then they tutor their kids in math. We are grateful to have partners like HISD, Metro Nashville, LAUSD, KIPP, Stride. I think the Navigator folks are here. Last year, 75% of all K2 families on the roster successfully tutored their kids using Paloma. And 70% of participating families tutored their kids at least 3 times per week. The mode is actually 5. Families are more likely to tutor their kids all 5 weekdays than any other frequency of weekly engagement. As one superintendent put it, Paloma awakens the sleeping giant of parents as tutors. On average, teachers see parents in their class deliver 14 hours of one-on-one instruction week after week. You can do that by yourself if you stay after school for 3 hours a day and tutor kids come one, come all. Of course, it's much more sustainable in partnership with families. One teacher said, "Teaching feels like a team sport now. I run my leg of the race at school, and families reliably run their leg at home." More learning time, better learning outcomes. A study found that families using Paloma helped their kids make 45% more reading growth from beginning of year to middle of year on their reading assessments this year. And multilingual learners nearly doubled their progress. Another study showed that Paloma helped a district reduce their enrollment declines by more than half, by 52%, relative to a propensity-matched control group. The takeaway is crystal clear. Parents are critical influencers of the outcomes we care most about, from reading proficiency to enrollment and attendance. I was told not to do Q&A in this setting, and I get it, it's hard to hear. So I'm going to imagine a few questions I would have if I were in your shoes. First and foremost, is it expensive? No. For what most companies charge for a single hour of tutoring, we can help parents tutor their children for an entire year. 2, will my teachers feel overwhelmed? Also no. Paloma actually saves teachers time. As a teacher, I can't tell you how many times I at lunch huddled over the copy machine running homework packets day after day. Most of our district partners are assigning Paloma as the homework so that teachers can take back that time of making, managing, and grading homework themselves. That way, teachers can actually prep during prep and eat lunch during lunch. And then what about the new curriculum I'm rolling out? Isn't that a bad time to introduce a new resource? Most of our partner districts are in the process of rolling out new HQIM. When it comes to rolling out a new curriculum, the learning curve is hard enough, and the change management is a whole other mountain to climb. It can take years to be able to reliably walk into any classroom and see high-quality Tier 1 instruction using the new curricular materials. Parents can provide quality Tier 1 instruction to their children at home much, much sooner. And as I mentioned, Paloma aligns their Tier 1 instruction to your curriculum to ensure that day-by-day, week-by-week coherence. Frankly, teachers also appreciate the camaraderie of having families join them in the journey of embracing a new curriculum, and that can help with the change management that can otherwise jeopardize the success of any new curriculum rollout. Finally, how can I start a dialogue? Well, I thought you'd never ask. Just send me an email. So I want to close with a quick thought exercise. I want you to think about how many elementary schoolers are in your district. Imagine that you could flip a switch and have nearly that many tutors. Imagine those tutors were willing to teach kids in reading and math at least 3 times a week. Imagine they deliver curriculum-aligned instruction using personalized, culturally responsive books and math problems that cultivate a love of learning. These tutors don't need you to manage them any more than AI robo-tutors do. But unlike chatbots, imagine these tutors have deep relationships with students. They share their cultures, they share their experiences, and they do the tutoring in person. Imagine if all that tutoring costs less than $3 an hour. If you could flip that switch, would you? This doesn't have to be a thought experiment. Those tutors are in your school communities already. Parents are the tutors hiding in plain sight. You just need to activate and equip them. We would love to help you do that. Thank you so much.